Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The law banning the possession of alternative smoking products in public places takes effect today. Offenders are issued fixed penalty notices in the morning for possessing heated tobacco products.
E-cigarettes in hand and at lips. Day one of the new ban, some people could still be seen puffing e-cigarettes on Tsim Sha Tsui streets. This woman says she thought the ban would come into force tomorrow.
By ChatGPT before to the departure. For him it's the same because he smoke all cigarettes and cigarette electronic, and it's the same. You cannot. There's no problem.
Starting today, possession of specified alternative smoking products in public places, including e-cigarettes capsules, heat sticks, or herbal cigarettes, is banned. Those who hold a smaller quantity face a fixed penalty of $3,000. If the quantity exceeds the specified limit, meaning more than 5 capsules or 5 milliliters of substance, 100 heat sticks, or 100 herbal cigarettes, the maximum penalty is a $50,000 fine and 6 months imprisonment. This morning, the Tobacco and Alcohol Control Office under the Department of Health stepped up publicity and enforcement around Admiralty. Manny Lam, head of the Tobacco and Alcohol Control Office, says during enforcement, the products will be confiscated. While the ban currently does not cover the smoking devices and only outlaws the content, officers may still seize the whole device as evidence, depending on the situation. A public place is defined to include shared areas such as lobbies, staircases, and corridors. Hong Kong has already banned the import of alternative smoking products for 4 years.
As part of the 10 measures for tobacco control, the government will standardize cigarette pack sizes, which the Council on Smoking and Health believes will reduce the desire to smoke. With a new measure, these colorful cigarette packs will disappear. The government had also detailed how to regulate cigarette packaging. This includes requiring the use of a specific Pantone 448C color and that the edges be hard and straight. Detailed sizes are also specified, but some vendors criticize this as overly restrictive, potentially causing some cigarettes brands to disappear from the market, resulting in the loss of nearly half their business. The Council on Smoking and Health says such regulation is needed as overseas research showed controlling cigarette packaging helps to reduce smoking. The government has begun subsidizing diesel prices by $3 per liter starting today, supporting drivers of commercial vehicles and vessels for 2 months. A fuel distributor believes the subsidy should continue if prices do not return to normal levels. On the first day of the subsidy, a petrol station in Kowloon Bay listed diesel at $36.77 per liter. The government reimbursed the subsidies to fuel distributors directly. A light goods vehicle driver purchased 27.7 liters of diesel and received an $83 subsidy. The driver notes it's very straightforward to have the discount applied directly during payments. A fuel distribution company said the subsidy offers timely help and hopes the relief could continue beyond 2 months, unless fuel prices fall soon. The government says if abnormal diesel transactions or abuse of the subsidy are detected, they have the right to refuse or suspend payments and will hold the relevant party responsible. Jerome Powell said the plans to remain on the board of the U.S. Federal Reserve after his term as chair ends next month. He made it clear that he is concerned about unprecedented legal attacks against the central bank by the Trump administration. He referred to the criminal investigation against the Fed, which was dropped earlier by the Department of Justice.
I've said that I will not leave the board until this investigation is well and truly over with transparency and finality, and I stand by that. I'm encouraged by recent developments, and I'm watching the remaining steps in this process carefully. My decisions on these matters will continue to be guided entirely by what I believe is in the best interest of the institution and the people we serve. After my term as chair ends on May 15, I will continue to serve as a governor for a period of time to be determined. I plan to keep a low profile as a governor. There's only ever one chair of the Federal Reserve Board, When Kevin Warsh is confirmed and sworn in, he will be that chair.
Ex-FBI Chief James Comey surrenders himself and appears in court following an indictment against him, relating to a photo of seashells he posted online that the Justice Department calls a threat to President Donald Trump's life. Comey's attorney says the prosecution is politically motivated, while Trump says the social media post was a call for his murder. Gloria Feng has more.
Former FBI Director James Comey made his first court appearance in Virginia Wednesday. This follows an indictment in North Carolina on Tuesday related to 2 charges of making threats against President Donald Trump, with a photo he posted on social media last year of seashells arranged in the numbers 8647. Comey did not speak or enter a plea and was released with no special conditions imposed. His legal team says the defense intend to argue that the prosecution is vindictive and selective, alluding to the long-standing feud between Comey and Trump over FBI investigation that alleged collaboration between the Trump campaign and Russia to sway the 2016 election results. Comey maintained the post was not a call to violence against the president and removed the post as soon as he saw some people were interpreting it that way. But the Justice Department contends those numbers amounted to a threat against Trump, the 47th president of the United States. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump says Comey used mob terms and that the numbers imply murder.
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill him. You know? You ever see the movies? 86 him. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 him. That means kill him. It's, I think of it as a mob term. I don't know, people think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say, 86, the son of a gun.
He goes on to say Comey created tremendous danger and he felt his life was probably at risk as a result of the social media post. This is the second indictment against Comey in a matter of months. Gloria Feng, TVB News.
Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla were in New York visiting the site of the September 11th attacks and meeting school children, business leaders, and celebrities on the 3rd day of their U.S. tour. Gloria Feng has more.
King Charles III and Queen Camilla began their New York visit by paying tribute to victims of the September 11th attack. Accompanied by former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Charles laid flowers at the memorial, and the royal couple spoke with victims' relatives, first responders, and local dignitaries. One surviving relative member says she was allowed to hug the Queen and found the royal couple to be quite endearing. The King then toured an after-school urban farming program in Harlem that works with youths affected by food insecurity. He spent time talking to students and presented a gift to the nonprofit organizer. Charles later attended a UK-US trade event at the Rockefeller Center, while Camilla visited the New York Public Library. The couple capped off a busy day at a gala celebrating the 50th anniversary of the King's Trust, a charity that helps youth in need. Addressing the star-studded group of attendees that included Anna Wintour, Donatella Versace, and Martha Stewart, Charles expressed his thanks to those who supports the charity's vision to champion the next generation.
And so perhaps you can imagine that after all these years of investing in young people, helping them to start their own businesses, everything else, when I see the difference it's made and helping to build self-confidence, self-esteem, but also highly successful businesses, many of which they've sold on for millions, and then, of course, the greatest thing, which I always hoped but never quite believed would happen, having invested, many of the people who've been successful through the trust then come back to help support other young people in the future. So that, for me, has been a wonderful, virtuous circle.
The King and Queen are on a 4-day tour in the U.S., celebrating the 250th anniversary of American independence from England. Gloria Feng, TVB News.
The U.S. has imposed a naval blockade on Iran after post-ceasefire negotiations collapsed in Islamabad, Pakistan earlier this month. U.S. President Donald Trump made clear that he will keep Iran under the blockade until it agrees to a deal with Washington on its nuclear program. Danny Zhou has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed the Artemis II crew to the Oval Office on Wednesday and fielded questions from reporters about the war in Iran. On how long the U.S. blockade will persist in Islamic Republic, Trump said it will continue until Tehran agrees not to have nuclear weapons.
Mr. President, regarding Iran, how long are you prepared to maintain the blockade? Could that go several more months?
Well, the blockade is genius, okay? The blockade has been 100% foolproof. It shows how good our Navy is, I can tell you that. Nobody's going to play game. Now they have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do, just say, we give up. We give up.
Trump meanwhile noted Iran talks were underway via phone amid stalled negotiations.
We have talks, we're having talks with them now, and we're not flying anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically, and it's very nice.
The Kremlin reported Russian President Vladimir Putin held a 1.5-hour phone call with Trump to express his support following an assassination attempt at the White House media gala on April the 25th. According to Yuri Yushakov, Russian presidential foreign affairs advisor, Putin, who views Trump's decision to extend the ceasefire with Iran as a correct step, had stressed the dire consequences should hostilities resumed in the war. Putin also told Trump that a ground operation on Iranian territory would be completely unacceptable and dangerous. Trump told reporters that Putin has renewed his offer to help the U.S. handle Iran's enriched uranium. But he responded by saying he thinks it was more important the Russian leader be involved with ending the war with Ukraine. Also on Wednesday, Iran's national currency rial hit a record low of 1.8 to the US dollar as economic strain mounts from the war. Massive pro-government rallies were held concurrently in different cities to pledge national unity and allegiance to Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei. Demonstrators in capital Tehran held portraits of former leaders and walked past cartoons showing Trump attacking Iran with bombers. Someone stamping on Israeli flags painted on the streets. Meanwhile, in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah claimed they've carried out a wave of drone attacks on Israeli troops in the country. In one of the videos released by the militant group, some soldiers in Taber village came under attack, followed by another drone strike during the evacuation of wounded Israeli military personnel. Several Israeli tanks in Quneitra were also targeted. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
Speaking at the public hearing on the Wanful Court fire today, a manager from the Urban Renewal Authority's Building Rehabilitation Department said the URA did not hold discussions with the owners' corporation despite bid prices for renovation works being unreasonable. A director of the URA stressed it is not their job to tackle bid rigging. Timothy Lee tells us more.
The public hearing continued at Central City Gallery today, with Shanyat Ho, the Urban Renewal Authority's case manager for Wanful Court's renovation works, testifying. Chan said the URA's primary job is to reduce the chances of projects from being influenced by bid rigging. But the independent committee's senior counsel, Victor Dawes, cited Chan's written statement, which noted the URA did not play a role in the bidding process, nor did it send a representative to the procedure. The Urban Renewal Authority also did not offer any advice to Wanful Court's owners' corporation during the process. Chan said the significant difference in bid prices is a common situation, given some companies' desire to acquire some experience. The URA would provide tender analyses on certain bids for Wanful Court's owners' corporation. Chan noted the URA did not intervene by assessing whether the prices were reasonable, as it did not want to affect the owners' corporation's decision. Regarding prior complaints raised by Wanful Court residents to the URA on Prestige Construction and Engineering's numerous charges, Chan said it would have been obvious for residents to seek help from the buildings department. Wang Se-king, the director of the URA's Building Rehabilitation Department, subsequently testified. He said he disagrees that anti-bid rigging is the URA's job. Wang added that the URA has no authority to state whether bid prices are reasonable, out of fear of breaching the competition ordinance. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Robots are now widely deployed in China to entertain tourists. Hong Kong Disneyland is also launching a robotic Olaf, developed by Walt Disney Imagineering in the world of Frozen from early May to interact with guests. Rachel Ng was there to experience the joy.
So why don't you say hello to our noble guest?
Hello, friends. Isn't Arendelle beautiful? I love it here.
Fairy tales are not necessarily just for storybooks. Olaf, the snowman who loves summer the most, from the Disney animated film Frozen, will step into the real world during the season he longs for the most. Besides greeting visitors, he also shows off his tiny shuffling steps and smiles. Spinning and dancing. None of these are problems for him.
Say hi, say cheese.
Fancy taking a photo with him? He's always ready to oblige.
Wow, you are tall.
No, I get that all the time.
Visitors can communicate with Olaf in Cantonese, English, and Putonghua, but for now, he's only able to respond in English.
We're working hard to try and teach him that beautiful language, but whilst he's still learning, so we'll make sure that our guests who don't speak English get the chance to speak through an interpreter who'll be there to help translate for guests so that they can understand every single word that Olaf's saying.
The World of Frozen at Hong Kong Disneyland, opened in late November 2023, is the second Disney theme park to introduce the robotic Olaf after Disneyland Paris. The engineering team responsible for designing the robot said that to stay true to the authenticity of the cinematic character, they had spent a long time using reinforcement learning AI technology to bring Olaf's traits to life.
But it's thousands and thousands of hours of Olaf walking on flat ground or slightly uneven ground, preparing him for actual cobblestones in the world of Frozen. But all of that comes together so that he's capable and able to balance and do the functions that we need him to do.
Bye.
Olaf also needs rest time, so will appear at irregular intervals. If you're in luck, you'll get to see him. Rachel Ng, TVB News.
This Saturday marks the Mark VI first special 50th anniversary snowball draw. If someone hits the jackpot solo, they are looking at the Mark VI's biggest prize ever of over $200 million. There will be a 50th anniversary exhibition which starts on Friday in Central's Tai Kung. That goes on for 10 days. As for the draw itself, what security measures have been adopted in the past 50 years to keep everything fair and square? Celine Chan tells us more.
Hear that music? It's time to find out if you can play it chill and win the thrill. Can $10 buy you a solo jackpot win? Well, the Mark VI magic begins here at his recording studio in Sha Tin. 2 is the special number here. 2 officiating guests will be present to witness the entire drawing process every time, and 2 different departments' passcodes or keys are also required to gain access to the studio, the drawing machines, and more.
For our standard operating procedures, we emphasize on dual control, which means for every action we are taking, we have 2 departments to actually co-own it, so that there are actually no chance of being manipulated. We have plenty of CCTV to cover every corner of this studio. And also we have motion detection to ensure all movements are detected. So just in case if anyone comes into this room, actually the security department will actually knows that. And we will follow up to ensure this person must be authorized, and if not, we will follow up on what's going to happen. But so far, none of this has happened.
To make sure everyone has a fair shot of about 1 in 40 million chance to win the top prize, every single Mark VI ball is sent to an independent third party for checks on an irregular basis.
It's on the weight and dimension, and also they use the X-ray to ensure inside the body there's nothing being manipulated, so to ensure the balls are safe and all intact.
Each Mark VI draw is overseen by a Justice of the Peace and a representative from one of the lottery's fund beneficiary organizations. They both have to sign off afterwards. To ensure every draw goes ahead without a hitch, there's a backup machine in the studio. If the main one breaks down, they will swap it out and keep the drawing process going. The 16-year-old fourth generation drawing machine will be retired after the first 50th anniversary snowball. Thereafter, draws will be conducted using the brand new 5th generation drawing machine. Celine Chan, TVB News.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.